Today you knew that you had classes.
No.
What do we know?
Then Raj told me in French tuition.
Very
And I
good.
didn't eat anything. I went home and got the books.
I didn't eat it.
A protein powder. Kids protein powder. He is not sure. मैं सीनियर है क्या तुझे? क्या?
जूनियर का चलनी में हाँ नेमार दास Santos विराट क्यों आएगा? अरे तू नॉर्मल चला गया तू रुका नहीं था ना कल वॉफल के लिए
अरे विराट ने तेरा खा लिया
हाँ
मैं लाइन में उसके आधे घंटे ऑर्बिट में फिर वो बोलते हैं कि आप ऑर्डर करने के 3 घंटे बाद मिलेगा
What were you all celebrating waffle this Sunday?
हाँ और फिर मैंने जाके पिज़्ज़ा खा लिया फिर
भाई लोग ने कितना कमाया
तूने खुद से बनाया
No, yeah, yesterday was waffle. This was waffle day, na?
हम 100 रुपीस ऑफ
So
कैसे बनाती है ये
कितना कमाया
कच्चा खा रही है
अरे नेहरू में लोग लिटरली इतने भूखे
अरे बाकी में तो रस्ते में खड़े हुए थे
वही तो अबे दरवाजे की तरफ
और
विराट
पता
खड़ा
है
हुआ
टीम कैंप में तो हमें उतना ही वॉफल हमें फ्री का मिला वो वॉफल भी था हाँ तो वही सेम ही तो मिला हम लोग को
क्या आपने चॉइस
मैं ये सोच रहा हूँ कि विराट जब तक रुका हुआ था 9:30 तक
अरे वो भूखा था दो खा लिया चल के फिर चला गया
वही तो
which lesson were we on this, na?
Yes.
Midnight visitor. We didn't start, right? I showed you the
मैं तो
PPT.
घर से आ गया था
यस
सोनी चाप
सोनी चाप खा
उसने
रहा
मेरे को कुछ तो खट्टा क्या काला खट्टा कुछ तो खिलाया कुछ तो खिलाया खिलाया
अच्छा हम कल इधर ही थे खड़े थे आधे घूमने के लिए
पगले
Okay, fine, fast. Let's
तेरा साइन
start.
करूँ क्या तेरा साइन ऐसा DM और सर्कल सब लोगों को वापस everyone comes waffles
Where's your this one, other one? Dipanshu? No.
Divyanshi
No, that Rudra.
Rituraj
Rituraj, yeah.
Ma'am, he went from tuition and he's like, मैं जल्दी पहुंच जाऊंगा इनकी खा के सब कुछ. I think he's eating.
Yeah. And poor you all hungry and starving. So sad.
Ma'am, I had breakfast at 9 o'clock.
So sad in life.
अब मैं देवांशु की fake sign
Give it.
एक साइन नहीं करता वो बस अपना नाम लिखता है उसके ऊपर से रिवील कर देता है
अरे पागल DM
अरे क्या होंगे
अबे तेरी साइड कैसी सी है अभी
जैसे तो बेटर में DM
Alright, start reading.
DM पूछ रहा है
मैंने कर लिया भाई
कहाँ
I don't even
किसने
have
नहीं किया?
3 hour classes now.
Because today I'll finish with this midnight visitor. Then I'll finish glimpses of India. Today that's why 3 hours classes I kept because their course will be over then.
Now what course?
Portion.
And just because of you all I kept, otherwise I wouldn't have kept. Don't say thank you. I hate this one. Irritating it is.
Yes, ma'am.
And you all luckily I phoned up Samir sir and I saw this. I saw the thing that you had only one arm.
Ma'am, that's what I thought. Ma'am. I'm sorry, ma'am.
Last time also you were sorry. Before that also you were sorry. How you
She
are?
also has Sanskrit tuition.
Yes, ma'am. I directly came from Sanskrit. I left early so that I could reach here.
Yes. After this, we are having, we'll go back to regular classes. And this is height. I can't take extra classes, but this is just because you all have your exams going on. Means approaching. So we complete today. All your course is over. Once this this chapter and then the glimpses of India. Once that is covered, that means your whole portion for your exams are over. We have not even started. What 15 minutes break?
मैम मैं मार से अभी मैं अभी जितना रास्ते फोटो भेजी तो लोग अभी ब्रेक आने ना तेरा वो वस्तु डाला ना
That habit, how many times I told you it's a wrong habit for you to develop? Alright, please read. I showed you what is the story about.
Stable भी awesome है.
It does no same business.
What chapter is it?
The midnight visitor. What is wrong?
Midnight.
अरे टेक्स्ट बुक देना.
Midnight visitor. कहाँ से पढ़ना?
Sorry. Oswald did not fit any description of a secret agent Fowler had ever read. Following him down the musty corridor of the gloomy French hotel where Oswald had a room, Fowler felt let down. It was a small room on the sixth and top floor, and scarcely a setting for a romantic adventure.
Okay, stop. What does the first statement itself tell you about the story? First statement itself.
That's the humans.
No, Oswald did not fit any description of a secret agent Fowler had ever read. The first statement tells you what? Yeah, literal translation. Please give me literal translation. That helps you in your exam. Beta, you check your page number. This is the midnight visitor. What does that tell you?
But also not like a regular.
Don't give me chorus answers.
Like Oswald is different from other and not.
Yes,
Your perception of a secret agent. Now, Fowler is another character in that. The perception of Fowler regarding Oswald is that he doesn't look like a secret agent. Now, one thing you always is appearance is deceptive. This theme is also running through this chapter. Appearance, what do we perceive others? How do we look at others? Is like initially what you make an impression on others, and later on when the person comes to you, your impression changes. Okay, that's why one thing in life always learn is never form an impression immediately on the first impression. Like whatever first impression you have when the person enters, don't base your judgment on that, because ultimately it may happen that that judgment may be wrong. That's why this theme is appearance can be deceptive. Okay, so that's first hint what you get in this chapter. So following him, the musty corridor. What does musty means?
Dark and smelly.
Yeah, smelly, like very dusty, very like that.
Dirty. But a moist smell.
She came from the same class. She came directly. You went home.
I went home to get my.
Pass this way. All right. So musty is very like dark, dusty kind of this. So like the ambience, the setting of this is also very very shady kind of a setting. Understood what a shady means?
Suspicious.
Yeah, suspicious. So you have this kind of initially the author is building that kind of atmosphere, the setting itself. Then he's saying it is a gloomy French hotel. Again, gloomy, very very no light, very dark like that. Where Oswald had a room, Fowler felt let down. What does let down means?
That did not meet his expectations.
Correct. You had a certain expectation. Again, when I said appearance can be deceptive, this is that expectation what he had. Like he'll live in a posh, this James Bond movie. You have this posh hotel. Yeah, you have a suite. You have this kind of like smart, dashing fellow, very athletic, very smart. You have this kind of perception of a spy, right? But what happened? Or that was a perception maybe of Fowler. And but Oswald turned out to be completely different, the opposite than that. And he's staying in a very shady hotel which doesn't like suit that kind of that business. So that Fowler, it was a small room on the 6th floor and top 6 and the top floor. Means the building was how many floors? 6th floor. So right on the 6th floor he was staying. Now this is very important. Later on, we'll come to know in the story. Why this was very important. Scarcely a setting for a romantic adventure. So this kind of expectation, as I said, we have this rose-colored glasses, right? When you talk about spies, we think about James Bond, we think about like Sherlock Holmes, those kind of things, right? Means who live in a very posh locality, a posh hotel, and all that. This was totally opposite. So that's why that romantic adventure, it's not that Romeo Juliet romance. This is kind of this spy and this that way of looking of. Yes.
Possible was for one thing fat, very fat, and then there was his accent. Though he spoke French and German passively, he had never altogether lost the American accent he had brought to Paris from Boston 20 years ago. You are disappointed, Oswald said easily over his shoulder. You were told that I was a secret agent, a spy dealing in espionage and danger. You wish to meet me because you are a writer, young and romantic. You envisioned mysterious figures in the night, the crack of pistols, drugs in the wine.
Okay, stop. So this is what perception is. When we look at people, we imagine, okay, this is how he's going to turn up. This is what. So what happened is when Fowler saw him, he was fat. Now spies are not supposed to be fat, but he was fat. And very fat. It's not only fat, there's a definition of fat. There's like actually very obese. So that. And then there was his accent. Like, he has a particular peculiar accent. Though he spoke French and German passively. Passively means you can just make do, like me. I understand Marathi very well. But for me to speak Marathi, I make a lot of grammatical errors. So I know my Marathi is absolutely weak. Okay. He had never altogether lost the American accent he had brought to Paris from Boston 20 years ago. So he shifted from Boston to Boston. He shifted to Paris from Boston 20 years ago. Even in the 20 years, you know how we are very. It's just you pick up accent very very fast when you want to adapt in that certain place. Yes. Correct. If you go to US, it's okay. If you go to US, you are going to pick up those kind of accent, right? Because you want to be accepted. We are from here and all. Eventually, it will grow on. But sometimes, sometimes not. Most of the times, you rather fake it. Yes, because you want to be that part of the world. I belong to this part of the world, so that is the typical accent you pick up as you grow, right? You will never speak in a normal. Yes, there are times tendency because if you keep on hearing that particular thing, maybe after 20 years you will pick up, but it will not be possible for the first year. That is 101% surety. It's not in 1 year. It becomes because what happens?
You are like very young.
Very young is different thing. Just pass that list back here. Then. Okay, so you are disappointed. Oswald said Weasley. Weasley is yes, because when you're climbing stairs, like just now, when you were climbing stairs, you also didn't wheeze. I was definitely wheezing because I'm carrying this heavy bag on top of it and climbing the stairs. It is like literally taking my life, and it was horrible. So you start wheezing. Understood what does wheezing mean? You start breathing very, very heavily, and he's doubly fat, so he's definitely wheezing. Over his shoulder. Over his shoulder, that means he's ahead, he must have climbed up, and this one is following. So that's why he's over his shoulder. You were told that I was a secret agent. So this author was told that he was a secret agent, a spy dealing with espionage and danger. You know what is espionage, right? What does espionage mean? They trading secrets of different countries. Mysteries. Yes. Which is not like, allowed. So he says, you had this perception that I'm a secret agent. You were told, rather, he was told that he was a secret agent. He's a spy. He deals with espionage and he deals with danger. So he thought, okay, this person is going to be very athletic, very young, healthy, and that kind of perception. You wish to meet me because you are a writer, young and romantic. So he had this kind of, as I said, we form an image. When you say a doctor, you'll always think the first image will be white coat and a stethoscope. When you see like fireman, you have this red cap, and you have this typical uniform which is there in your head, right? When you think of a spy, you will think, as I said, you always associate with James Bond. Correct? So that perception is there for us. So he said you are very young and romantic. Because if you have not experienced in life, you always have that first picture which comes to your head. When you think about a teacher, you will not find a teacher who's very modern and all that. In schools, there are teachers who wear trousers and shirts and all, t-shirts and shirts and all that and teach. But there's nothing wrong in it. But your perception of a teacher in India will be somebody who's wearing a salwar suit or a sari, especially a sari. The perception of a teacher, you will never connect it with a male teacher.
Yes.
Because it's a very rare case, like basically now definitely you have lots of sirs, but initially you would always associate teacher with a sari cladded lady. Understood? So that perception, I said, the way you look at the world. So this person also has this, till you grow up, till you start understanding the concept behind it, this happens. So he says, you wish to meet me, you envision mysterious figures in the envision, just now explain. Yeah, you imagine mysterious figures in the night. Mysterious figures means you will find that there's a gun and shadows and he's shooting and that kind of thing. The crack of pistol, drugs in the wine. Drugs in the wine, you want to capture the other spice, so you put drug in the wine and all that. So that is a perception which you carried with you. Okay, and when you looked at me, all that was smashed to pieces. Got it? Yes.
Instead, you have spent a dull evening in a French music hall with a sloppy fat man who, instead of having messages left into his hand by dark-eyed beauties, it's only a prosaic telephone call making an appointment in his room. You have been bored. The fat man chuckled to himself as he unlocked the door of his room and stood aside to let his frustrated guest enter.
Yeah, so what was that again? What kind of perception he had? What did Fowler think?
That's like in those movies you have like this kind of like
you have this casino, right? You have this casino
and
scene.
he's gambling and he's having alcohol.
Yeah, he's having alcohol, and this lady, this beautiful slender model is coming and slipping
like
that
message
in his hand. Even a Bollywood movies have that kind of scenes. Yes, you have this kind of scenes where you come and slip that thing and like that. You imagine, but you were absolutely bored because he didn't do anything like that sort. Okay, they are just sitting and having the music hall, and they were sitting and just he received a phone call. So that's why he said instead he spent a dull evening in a French music hall. So they were in this hall with a sloppy is kind of a clumsy person. So sloppy fat man who instead of having messages slipped into his hand by the dark-eyed beauties, gets only a Prozac telephone call making an appointment in his room. So he gets a call that he has to come up to his room because somebody is waiting for him. He says that is the only thing, what excitement you have in the music. Otherwise, nothing. You were just sitting with me and listening to this boring music. Okay, you have been bored. So he said, yeah, you have been absolutely bored. The fat man chuckled to himself as he unlocked the door to his room and stood aside to let his frustrated guest enter. So all his hopes were dashed into pieces. Why? Because he hoped that he'll get something very adventurous, something like he could write about. He's a writer, right? So he had to write something which is very colorful, which is like, brings things to life. So that kind of thing. So read.
You are disillusioned.
Yes, disillusioned.
Possible told him, but take cheer, my young friend. Chup na. My young friend. Presently, you will see a paper, a quite important paper for which several men and women have risked their lives. Come to me someday soon. That paper may will affect the course of history. In that thought is drama. Is
Yawn. Okay, disillusioned.
That means somewhat illusion. Like a fake image. Fake.
You all sometimes disillusion me. I have high expectations of you all and you all disillusion me.
Disappointing.
Thank you. That's the very word you have to use. I was very
Ma'am, or
disillusioned.
someone is living in illusion and like someone appears before.
Disappointing.
So that's what I said. Now you all disillusion me a lot. You break the illusion I am in like you all are smart.
Yes, because we're super smart.
Ha. That answers your theory. But cheer up. So you said you are disillusioned. You know, all your hopes and like whatever aspirations you have, that is broken, are shattered. But cheer, my young friend. Is a cheer up. You know, you will use.
Possible would be in his 40s. Possible would be in his 40s. 50s.
Depends. You
Because
can't.
if he's 20 years in Paris and then for his final degree in Boston, he had to be at least 20, 25, more than 45. He's a fat man.
You cannot judge by that particular way. Presently, you will see a paper. He says you are disillusioned. Now you will see a paper. He said a very important paper who, like very several men and women risk their life for this paper. This paper, what you will see is they have risked their life. They put their life in danger, and you will. And that paper may change the course of history. That means it is something which is, as I said. Please get up, go out of the class, wash your face, and please come back. Yes. Before you go to sleep, I'm not singing a lullaby. Please get up and go. Wash your face and come. My voice in any context is not a lullaby. I swear to God, my voice is not a lullaby. Just because I'm sitting here, I can see your face. Alright? The paper may affect the course of history. In that thought is drama, is there not? So when you think that that paper is going to be so important that in case when somebody gives you that message, that means it will change you can make and break his career like that. So it has drama. This particular sentence has drama in it, is it not? So he's trying to excite him because why? He said, why did I, he's cursing himself, why did I come to this person and why did I have to write about this person? He was very excited over this. Now, as he looked at him, he said, what kind of person is this? That kind of thing. But as I said, we judge very, very fast. We don't give that person to prove himself. So that's what looking at him, and he's a smart. Osibel is a smart person who knows how to read. He has to read.
That's why he is.
That's what he is a spy. Yes, I agree. Then, as he spoke, Osibel closed the door behind him. Then he switched on the light. As the light came on, Fowler had his first authentic thrill of the day. Up till now, he was massively bored out of his mind. And this is the first time when he turned, he had a thrill. The thrill is excitement, right? For halfway across the room, a small automatic pistol in the hand stood a man. Oswald blinked a few times. Max, he teased, you gave me quite a start. I thought you were in Berlin. What are you doing here in my room? So you see, as soon as they turned, they closed the door. As soon as they turned, the pistol was pointed towards them, and this man was standing. This man, who Osibel addresses as Max, and he's holding the pistol to Osibel and Fowler. So that was excitement because now this was the first time that any indication was there that this person was really a spy. Otherwise, why would a person point a gun or pistol at you? Right? So that was the first indication that this something exciting is going to happen. So that particular thing excites you. Your adrenaline starts pumping, right? At that particular time. Because you don't know. Either you will panic. Now that's why this is very important. Here, it depends on how we react, right? Fowler was no. Somebody's pointing a pistol at you. He's not thrilled, but he's a change in the particular. The change. No, the change in the particular. He was bored out of his mind. So something like he found it thrilling, exciting here, but not exactly. He is quiet. He is panicking because his life is in danger. But Osibel was very cool. Cool as a cucumber. Look at this. He just says, "Oh, Max, you gave me quite a start. I thought you were in Berlin. What are you doing in my room?" You would not question a person who's standing and holding a pistol towards you so calmly. You would either be hyperactive, you would start screeching and shouting, "What are you doing? Why are you holding the pistol?" He would not say, "Max, you gave me a start." That means you have not, yeah, it is too casual. It's like as if nothing, it doesn't matter. You're holding a pistol, what does it matter? No, see, that's what, like, in moments of panic, how you react also matters. You know, when there's a fire alarm, have you ever had a fire drill in your school?
Yeah.
You must have had. Some schools have fire drill. It's a simple thing is why do they have fire drill in schools? Because it trains the children how to react. Sometimes when the bell rings, what happens? You start panicking. No fire. Why there are stampedes? You know, like in the stadium, remember bomb scares are there and all that. What happens? People are panicking and they will stamp over each other and they will go, and in that stampede, many people are injured and killed. You know that. You have heard about it rather. Have you heard about it?
Yes.
Or you read about it? Correct? So in that case scenario, in order to avoid panic, that is how you have to, like, you know, in situations like that, sometimes your life is in danger. You know, quick second thinking can save your life. You know that, right? So you have to think on your feet. The same way he also will talk, it talks a lot about his character that he can think on his feet. Right? He's smart, he's quick. Though physically you cannot this one see him, he moving fast because he's wheezing and he's doing, but in his brains he's quick. He didn't react in panic. He said, "What are you doing? You were supposed to be in Berlin. What are you doing here?" A casual conversation. And how, with the help of casual conversation, he gets out of the sticky situation. Understood? So that is what the story is all about. Max was slender, a little less than tall, with features that suggested slightly the crafty, pointed countenance of a fox. Crafty, cunning. Countenance is your face. So like he had this, you know, fox have these sharp features, right? They have very sharp features. Their cheeks are sharp and this kind of pointy nose they have. So that kind of face he had. Understood? So he was slender, is thin. A little less than tall, that means he was not very tall, mediocre, in the medium height. And with features that suggested slightly crafty, cunning. Pointy countenance of a fox with sharp features of a fox. You know, fox has a pointy nose and that sharp cheekbones and all that, like that. There was about him, aside from the gun, nothing especially menacing. Menacing is threatening. So there was nothing threatening about his stature. Understood? The way he was standing, there was nothing threatening about it. The report, he murmured, that the report that is being brought to you tonight concerning some new missiles. So now you come to know what message it was. It was about the missiles. You know what are missiles, right? Nuclear missiles are very, very important to every country. So it's missiles. I thought I would take it from you. It will be safer in my hands than yours. So he's come to take those reports of those missiles because he said it will be safer in my hand than yours. So assuming that yes, I can easily take it from my hand. Okay, so how does this one Oscibil react? Read, don't see.
Awesome. Possible moved to an armchair and sat down heavily. "I'm going to raise the devil with the management this time, and you can bet on it," he said grimly. "This is the second time in a month that somebody has got into my room with that nuisance of a balcony." Father's eyes went to the single window of the room. It was an ordinary window against which now the sky was pressing blackly. "Balcony," Max said, with a rising inflection. "No, a passkey. I did not know about the balcony. It might have saved me some trouble had I known."
Okay. So now, as I said, depends on how people react. So this one is also will move to an armchair and sat down. Here the pistol is pointing at him. He is least bothered. He went to the armchair and he sat down. He says, "I am going to raise the devil with the management." What do you mean by that? Devil with the management? I will raise this issue with the management. This issue of what? That you can bet on it. There is a second time in the month that somebody has got into my room through the nuisance of a balcony. So he's saying, I'm going to raise this issue with the management. Why? Because this is the second time in a month that somebody has gotten through the balcony in this. But actually, there was no way they could get into the balcony. He was staying on the 6th floor.
You wanted to know
Mind
how did he
games.
came in.
That's what I said. He started playing the mind games. He didn't react, first of all, to Max's presence. If you say, oh, it's only you, that kind of casual. Then he, in front of him, he goes and sits in front, like this in his armchair, and he says, I am going to raise this issue. I will talk to the management and complain to them that how dare, this is the second time in this month that somebody has entered my room through the balcony. So Max got confused. He said, balcony? I had this pass key, the duplicate key, what you have. Pass key is the duplicate key. I have this duplicate key. If I had known that there was a balcony, I would have come through the balcony. He doesn't even, he reacts to how Ausable reacts. Understood? The same thing, same intonation. Like, that's why he says rising inflection. He said, I had I had to go to the level of making a duplicate key and then enter this one. It would have been easier for me if I would have climbed through the balcony. Why would I have had to go to that much trouble? Okay. It's not my balcony, possible with extreme irritation. So he's a good actor. He's a very good actor. Now, as I said, we'll come to know later. With extreme irritation, he's very irritated. He says, it's not about the balcony. It belongs to the next apartment. So the balcony next to it. He glanced explanatory at Fowler. You see, he said this room used to be a part of a large unit, and the next room, through that door there, used to be the living room. It had the balcony which extends under my window now, and you can get into that empty room two doors down. And somebody did last month. The management promised to block it off, but they haven't. So he's having, instead of looking directly at Max, he's having a conversation with Fowler explaining how you can get in through the balcony to his room. Okay, so he says, how did it belongs to the next apartment. So this is my apartment, his apartment, and the next apartment, he says that balcony belongs to that next apartment. And he said the room used to be a part of large unit, means it was used to be a huge room which was divided. Okay, the next room through that door there, so he's pointing to the door, and the next room through that door there used to be a living room. So as I said, there's a partition between. Okay, one, like the whole hall has been divided now into rooms. So he said the next room used to be this one, the living room. It had the balcony. So the living room, which was now a part of this room, was the balcony. And he says, which extends under my window now. So that kind of balcony, it is right under my window. So you can get into so you can get into the balcony. How? From the empty room, 2 doors down. So as I said, the partitions are there. So next to the 2 doors down, there is entry from there, and you can get through that and come into my balcony. And somebody did last month, the management promised to block it off. He said, yeah, last month also I told the management you have to block off that balcony because that somebody is entering. Because it is breaking and entering. No, you can't, because it is his room. So you cannot break and enter. So I complained to the management to block it off. And they haven't. Max glanced at Fowler, who was standing stiffly. That's why I said he's not he's not panicking, but he's not even he's stiff because he fears that if I move, he will shoot. So he is standing stiffly while this one sat very comfortably. So not far from Ausable, and waved the gun and with a commanding gesture. Fowler standing there. So commanding gesture is stand up. You cannot sit like that. Please sit down. He said we have to wait. We have a wait of half an hour, I think. And he's telling this one, why don't you sit down? Because you have to wait for half an hour till it arrives. Okay. "31 minutes. Ausable said moodily. You know what is moodily, right? What does moodily means?
Agitated. Moody.
Moody. This is an adverb. Moodily is an adverb. When you're very moody, right? So it says, yeah, you don't have to. You have to wait 31 minutes, not half an hour. It's 31 minutes. The appointment was for 12:30. I wish I knew you had learned about the report, Max. So he says ki the appointment is at 12:30. That means it is only 12 o'clock right now, and it is pitch dark outside. 12 o'clock in the night, it is pitch dark outside, so nothing is visible from the balcony also, if you see. So now this again is very important. You come the story of this one. So he says, I wish how you learned about this, report. So Max, this little spy smiled evilly. Like he gave a very evil smile. And we wish we knew how your people got the report, but no harm have we done. I will get it back tonight. What is that? Who's at the door? So, it doesn't. He says, I don't know how did you get the information. How did they hand over the report? So he says, but no harm is done. I will get it from you tonight. He's very confident that I will get the report from you tonight. And then suddenly there's a knock at the door. He says, who's at the door? Okay. Fowler jumped at the sudden knocking at the door. So when you have this, you're jittery in the sense you're nervous. When you're nervous, you with a little this one also you start jumping. You start panicking. So this is what it is. Fowler jumped at the sudden knocking. So the reporter, Fowler was a reporter, right? He suddenly in this it's a tense situation. That person is holding a gun.
Used to it. Fowler isn't used to this situation.
Yes, because he's a writer, so he's not used to this kind of situation, right? So he jumped, and then he at this knocking. Ausable just smiled. Ausable didn't react. He just smiled. He says that will be the police. He said, I thought that such an important paper as one we are waiting for should have a little extra protection. So I told him to check on me to make sure everything was all right. So he said that at the door is the police. Why? Because I needed protection for the paper which was coming, which was a very important paper about the missiles, right? I need the extra protection. That's why I called him. So he said that's why they must have come to check on me. So as I said, the conversation is such like he's having a normal conversation where the other person is not suspicious about his action. Okay? Then Max bit his lips nervously. So he's not verifying also whether it's the police or not, and he's biting his lips. He says the police has come, he's a spy. He will be caught and thrown into the jail. The repercussions are like that. So he bit his lips nervously, and the knocking was repeated. So again, the knocking was repeated. What will you do now, Max? Ausable asked. If I do not answer the door, they will enter anyway. The door is unlocked, and they will not hesitate to shoot. So he's warning him. He's threatening him. If you don't open the door, anyhow they will come because the door is unlocked. So he's adding to his anxiety. Max, his anxiety is building up. Okay, he's becoming anxious, and if the police is there, definitely he will land up in jail. So that Max's face was black with anger. He was so angry, like absolutely his face looked like a dark rage. When you're anger, blood rushes up to your face, and you become like dark like that. As he backed swiftly towards the window, he swung his leg over the sill. Send him away, he warned. I will wait on the balcony. Send them away, or I'll shoot and take my chances. So he says this one Ausable had told him a tale about the balcony being there near the window. Okay, so he goes. He says send him away, and he says I'll hold on this one. I'll wait in the balcony. The knocking at the door became louder, and a voice was raised. Mr. Ausable, Mr. Ausable. Keeping his body twisted, so he's not looking also where he's going. He just put his leg out of the window, and he kept his body facing towards the door. Understood where Ausable and Fowler were, and he kept it this one. His gun still covered the fat man, and the man at the window grasped the frame with his free hand to support himself. So he's putting his legs out the window, and he's holding that window frame to support himself, and he swung the other leg. He's not looked out of the window. He's climbing out backwards. You need to understand this. Okay, he's not looked out of the window. He's just climbing out backwards, and he put one leg. Then when your leg goes over this, then the other leg will go right, and over the windowsill. The door knob turned. Swiftly, Max pushed his left hand to free himself from the sill. So he was holding himself with the left hand, and he freed him and dropped to the balcony. He thought the balcony was just, what did he say? The vicinity is, Yeah, this is the sixth floor and the balcony is here. Correct? He said the balcony is here. From here they have climbed up. Remember, Osable has said. So he left his hand. He thought he will drop to the balcony. What happened? And then as he dropped, he screamed once shrilly. Shrilly is very sharp, very high pitch. The door opened and the waiter stood there with a tray and a bottle and 2 glasses. The waiter had come because Osable had ordered wine and 2 glasses. Here's a drink you ordered for when you return, he said, and set the tray on the table deftly means expertly, uncorked the bottle and left the room. So he quickly uncorked normally wine bottles have this cork, right? So then he quickly uncorked the bottle and he left. White-faced Fowler stared at him, but he stammered, "The police?" There were no police Osable side, only Henry, whom I was expecting. So he knew that Henry would come. So he said, I was expecting him. But won't that man out on the balcony? Fowler began. No, he won't return. You see, my young friend, there is no balcony. He left his hand and from the 6th floor he went directly down and he died. That is how the story is. You don't think, you don't look. That's why I said, when he climbed out also, if he had looked, turned towards the window side and looked down, he would have been saved. He believed Osable's tale that there is a balcony below two floors below him. He said, I will, not 2 floors, just a balcony below him and then I would be saved. But he didn't see. He believed Osable and then he left his hand and he was plunged to his death. And Osable at that particular time kept his presence of mind, what we say. And he saved his life also and Fowler's life also. And Fowler had this perception that he is good for nothing. I have wasted my time and energy. But he got a story now to tell, if you see. So you shouldn't make up stories like that. Means you shouldn't, not stories, you shouldn't make up your mind like that. Don't form perception because sometimes the perception is wrong. The judgment of a person can be wrong. And presence of mind, quick thinking, not panicking are very, very crucial skills to develop. These are the skills which help you to get out of sticky situations. And this was a sticky situations. Understood? So this is the midnight visitor.
Now question answers.
Yeah, so pick up from your book. Take out from your book. Did I do this one with you all? Subject verb agreement also did I do with you all? Did I really do? Because tense is only I did.
Yes.
Subject verb agreement I did.
Before starting.
Ma'am,
Subject of Concord.
I
had to start. I think so.
We had done, no? That's what I'm asking. Because what is left in your grammar, I want to know.
In this term is done. Mangmai पोषण तेरे पास इन्वेस्ट का देखना सेंड कर
और एक दो MCQs.
113. 113.
All right. Page 116.
Only one hour. What is it?
One 116. Start. How are you doing that 116? First one. You Who didn't bring the volume? You brought na. Start doing the extract.
One of the suave. Suave.
Very stylish, smart, cool. You all are chit chatting from that time. I am not deaf. Finished?
Wait one second.
Wait 1 second.
Sorry.
Ha.
Could you give us
Thank you. I appreciate it. Your reframing. All three have their books. Why are you doing joint one? Why don't you come this side, this corner? Corner, I said. Ha. Rituraj, by the time there is a character sketch of possible, read the character sketch of possible. There, turn the page. So, it's on page number this.
116.
Page number 124. This is a character sketch.
After this, we have to glimpse of it again.
Glimpses of India, then we will do. That's what I want to know. What are the grammar concepts?
Brahma मुझे syllabus भेजिया ना भेजा किधर है मुझे नहीं पता मुझे नहीं मिला अभी भेजा ना, अभी नहीं भेजा, नहीं।
Show me the other one, other volume. Are you doing abhyas?
No man.
Why? What?
Exams.
Modals have you done?
We. Yes.
I know we
Modals
should
we have done. I have done everything.
Connectors we have done.
Yes. No. We don't
Ah.
have connectors. Connectors and conjunctions.
Yes. It is there in your exam, not this exam, later exam.
No is not fantastic.
Gap filling we have done, editing, sentence transformation, source practice we have done.
Question of trust.
Ah,
Question of trust is remaining.
question of trust is what?
Remaining.
Array, question of trust is in what?
Sorry. Put this without sheets. This one. After this. After Ossible. Chapter 4. After Ossible.
The midnight visitor, na? After that, na?
And that's what I'm telling after Ossible.
So change the name of the chapter, na? Is the name of the character.
I let it go. So glimpses of India and a question of trust.
So once you do glimpses of India, then when time is remaining, we'll do a question of trust. Okay? Have you finished? Start Wangme. Come on.
Yes, sir. You are disappointed. Ossible says easily over his shoulder. Why was Fowler disappointed? B. Yes.
Yes. Next.
Second का A.
Yes. Next.
Not third का B. Sorry, D.
Third ka D. Can't speak in English.
Fowler was a young writer.
Fourth C.
Fifth B.
Then sixth. First, second, first.
Second, first, C.
Okay. Second.
A.
Yes.
Bangmai.
Very good. Very good.
Fourth B.
Fifth B.
Sixth C.
Fifth B.
1 minute. Did we skip second?
No, second. Not third.
अब
Ninth,
चल रहा है।
third B. Third B है. Third B है. ये डेलनास वाला. मैं.
Desnas वाला B है।
नहीं.
No.
पागल कुछ भी. थर्ड वाला है.
Desnas वाला 4 है.
हाँ.
B है. वो कुत्तों को खिलाते तो फिर बिल्ली पर कुत्ता को.
क्या बोल रही है?
You are not understand. That's what I'm saying.
पूरा.
Fourth.
अब fifth B.
Yes.
1 6 C. B later admitted.
Third one C.
बोल रहा था.
1 minute. Possible annoyance at the balcony when you say nuisance of a balcony could be called fake, keeping in the mind that
He later admitted that there was no balcony at all. C.
C C
C.
C.
Yeah. C.
C.
The third one.
A.
and you are marked B.
What? No.
Yes.
Oh, gulti for the third.
Oh, balcony then means what?
Mark was third so part of the second question. I had marked option C because he entered through the door right, the past D.
Door, right?
Door, right?
So, what max?
Okay.
That's why one word can make a major difference. Huh? Be careful with that. Interpretation, you can eat peacefully.
Chachu.
That's okay. I'll tell him.
अरे तो शांत बैठना भाई
इसको मार
सुन
दूंगा मैं
सुन
ये मार खा जा रहा
अबे सुन एक आवाज करना चाहिए मेरे को जो तेरा बहुत अच्छा दोस्त है और उसको अपना देख करके पार्टी बनाना ये चल रहा है कि नीचे जो तेरा बहुत अच्छा चल रहा नहीं आएगा नहीं बस कॉल पे बात हो सकती है
क्या क्या
कोई जो तेरा बेस्ट फ्रेंड है
नहीं आ रहा है
ठीक है एक ये हो गया और उसके बाद सुनो या तो ये पूरा ये करो
तुझे तो कर
या तो ऐसा कुछ रखो सुनो
इसको मैसेज करने
और सुनो अबे सुन और ये ऐसा करो कि या तो ये सब ना हो तो कोई किसी का पेरेंट अच्छा बैठ गया कुछ